going to do for you?
Well, tell us, whatever you can tell us about season 2 of S.H.I.E.L.D., sort of the next step in the show's evolution, but also Agent Carter.
The short answer is, because we only have 3 minutes, the short answer is that this season is going to pick up exactly where we left off from last season, in the sense that Director Coulson has been given a directive, which is rebuild S.H.I.E.L.D., do it right. And what does that mean? What will he become? What will it become? What will the show become? And what's exciting to us is that while that's happening, we're then also going to be able to, in Agent Carter, go back to the beginnings, to see the things why there is a reason why there is a S.H.I.E.L.D., and to go to the first S.H.I.E.L.D. agent while the current director is still trying to figure out what it is, what's going to happen in the future, sort of in its own way, juxtaposed against what happened in the past. And when you've got two strong leads in Clark Gregg and in Haley Atwell, we think we've got two terrific shows.
It allows us to tell stories where we're the underdog. It allows us to tell stories the way S.H.I.E.L.D. originally was, which was sort of Men in Black, not officially out there, having to sneak in, sneak out. Much more of a spy show. That's sort of the way we ended up. So we're embracing that. We're going to answer some of the questions we left at the end of the season. We left Coulson writing on the wall, making these drawings. We left with a guy's, I think it's a guy, bloody hand, looking and saying, "I think I found your daughter."
We know it's a bloody hand.
So
or grape jelly.
Or yeah, we keep thinking, what can it be to be really funny? And we kept coming back with blood. Blood's funny. And
he was squeezing a bunny in his lap.
We're gonna, those are things that we left in the audience's lap that we want to pick up on. But we also have Hydra out there and everything shattered, and what happened with Fitz and Simmons, and what's going on with Director Coulson, and
what's going on with Ward.
What happened to him?
It's like, what's terrific is that we have this springboard now that you care about these characters. Season 1 was getting you to care about them. Now you do. Okay, so what will they become? And where does the story take us?
And it also allows us to split up more now. If the Triskelion used to be S.H.I.E.L.D. and S.H.I.E.L.D.'s been dismantled and Coulson's the director, what does that mean? Does he have 12 people, 120 people, or 12,000 people? Exploring that is something we're going to get into.
First season, you had 2 films come out that coincide with the series. Now, once you start in the fall, the only film that will be coming out is Avengers 2. Does that have plans to tie in?
Yeah, well, Guardians is like now, and then May 1st is Avengers, and that will be about 2 or 3 weeks before we end.
Oh, so we'll still be running. Okay.
And so,
wouldn't that be fantastic if something happened?
That would be really
way?
cool if something tied together. It would be cool.
But we also have one of the greatest things in the world, which is we have 2 series now that could maybe possibly tie together in some way. At 9 o'clock.
So we have Hydra out there. Are there other villains that are unconnected that we might be seeing, or is it just going to be sort of fighting?
No, I would hope that not everything, although they do have a very cool logo,
Yes.
I do think we'll have other villains as well, and there will be a plan.
Golden Age characters?
Pardon me?
Are the Golden Age characters in Carter? You know what I mean? Is that what
I don't think we will be peeling that far back yet.
So could we possibly see like an episode of Agent Carter where something happens that then has 40 years later?
Wouldn't that be
cool?
fantastic?
That's all we got, guys.
Okay, thanks, guys.
So here we are. How's everything going?
So with everything that happened last year with S.H.I.E.L.D. and the way, with S.H.I.E.L.D. and the way the Captain America impacted on it, now that movie's behind us. So going into the new season, can you give us some broad strokes here of what we...
Well, yeah. Last we saw, S.H.I.E.L.D. had completely fallen apart. And then Coulson was tasked with rebuilding it. What does that mean? What does that mean to be the director of something that is completely fallen apart? I think going into this season, our team, they are true underdogs, which they weren't last season at all. They were a sort of big, shiny, shadowy institution that had giant helicarriers. And now they're sort of left with nothing. So it's going to be very interesting to see our characters emotionally sort of deal with that and also struggle to carry out what their duty is. with the limited resources they have.
Good answer, babe.
I know, I'm really good at this. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm gonna take him under the line, I guess.
I think that,
We're good.
wow,
Okay.
that my
What is the
answer was
next-
so good, I stumped all of you.
Okay, can you give us any hints? Is there a, sort of the next stage in the evolution of these characters, of where they're going this season? I'm not talking plot specifics, but
Right.
as people.
We'll tell you the whole plot if you guys want.
Oh, yeah. We got
No,
3 minutes or 2 minutes. Go ahead.
No, one of the things that's fun for us about a season 2 is we had a lot of groundwork to lay in the first season. We had to introduce everybody to the characters, and they're not characters from the comics. So there was a lot of work to be done to get you to sort of like them, hopefully, or even know them. And now we know these characters, so we can hit the ground running with them in terms of everything they went through last year, how that's emotionally affected them, and how this new mission emotionally affects them. But also to introduce some new people into the mix and see how they sort of put a wrench in the works.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to hold back waiting for the Winter Soldier to come out, or did that just happen organically while you were planning it?
We knew about what happens in Cap 2 from the very beginning of the series. I think soon after we pitched it to ABC and got the green light, Joss said, "Oh, by the way, there's a script coming up you need to read. You may be shocked." And so we went and designed the season accordingly. We had to sort of avoid saying the H word. We had to avoid anything that I can hear you from everywhere. So yes, and it was a challenge, but we were able to plant seeds throughout the first half of the season that then paid off towards the end.
And the biggest thing we weren't allowed to do was have traitors. In a spy show, the most obvious plot line is who can you trust, and we weren't really allowed to play with that early. And then after the reveal, we played a lot with it, and we can continue now to play with the concept that they have to, especially being the underdogs, they have to work with people they don't necessarily feel comfortable with, and who can you trust, and who's Hydra, and who's S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, I think Coulson's
Tons of
going to be
fun.
making a bunch of uneasy alliances because he just has to.
Is the energy level, you guys kicked up the energy level when all this happened. Is it going to be possible to maintain that energy? I'm talking the editing, the fighting, the effects,
Right.
everything just went up.
Well, things are pretty dire when we come into the season, so I think that urgency and that momentum is something that we are definitely kicking the season off with. Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
You guys just started filming yesterday?
Yeah,
How's it going?
great. I mean, we get to do one day of playing and then we're whisked off to San Diego, so it's fine so far.
So Ian, you're coming back, right? You're a little worried about fits at the end of the season.
No. Me too. Well, that's what we keep on saying. It's, the biggest thing for us is just like opening a script each week and still being on the page kind of thing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really know exactly what's happening yet, but I can't really say. But there's definitely going to be consequences for what happened with that.
Things will happen.
Yeah, things will happen. Things
There
will
will be
happen.
things that happen.
Yeah, a lot of things will happen at different times.
Did the various twists and turns catch you guys by surprise, or did you all know it was coming early? I don't know if they
We knew nothing.
Really?
Yeah, seriously,
So
nothing.
was it a surprise? The direction?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes of it. I mean, with the twist with Ward, we were all told maybe like a few days before we filmed it, and they sat us all down just because it was a big thing for us because we had no idea. So, but yeah, generally we'll just get the script from week to week and find out that way.
Well, they'll ask you cryptic questions, like a couple of weeks or the week before we shot the finale, they would just, Mo came up to me and just went, can you swim? And I was like, yeah. She went, okay, fine. And then that was it. You'd get these cryptics kind of, like, can you skydive? Or how do you feel about sharks? Or just little things, and then they'd just leave you with that piece. And I'm sure sometimes they were just messing with us. But honestly, it's need-to-know basis, which I kind of love because then it's easier to not ruin things.
Yeah.
The less we know, the safer we are.
Yeah, it's probably safer for us not to know, otherwise we can just bust all over.
Just for Comic-Con, you guys shot here and so is quite familiar with now than they've seen you, or are you getting a different reaction?
I suppose it's definitely different because last time we were here, we just turned up and no one had ever seen us play the characters or who the characters were. So you know, we were. It was kind of a little bit strange, and now whether people like it or not, it's out there, and at least people know what it is. So it's definitely you definitely feel a bit more relaxed to be here, I suppose.
Yeah, and we kind of know what to expect this year, whereas last year everything was new, and we've grown even stronger as a team, and so coming to these things, it's like a school day out for us. So, and the fans have just been we just had our panel, and they're just the best. They're like so loud and raucous, and like get every single reference that they drop in there, and it's really fun being back the next year and kind of.
Yeah, and there's.
Sorry. Did you have a particularly favourite episode from season 1 to S.H.I.E.L.D?
Do you know what? This sounds weird, but I mean, well, to watch or to do would probably be like the first couple of them, because we had like 1 day filming and 7 days off. And as it went on, we had no days off. So
Since obviously they probably have to tell you what's going to happen to your characters, do you have any idea what you'd like to see happen to your characters?
I mean, yeah, I hope that I would like to see Simmons kind of use more of her womanly strength that she's kind of discovered over season 1, and I'd like to see how she kind of utilizes that and grows as a person. I mean, you know, some love scenes with hot men would be fine. No, I'm joking. Just, I think, with you, you're a hot man. I think we're just excited to read it, and honestly, we feel like a family, so any twists and turns for anyone's character is kind of, we all reap the rewards of that and enjoy it, so we're just ready to get going, right?
yeah.
Hey guys. Hey. What's up?
Twists of turns of season 1 leading into season 2. Feelings
Right.
You.
This guy.
No, it's you, buddy. You.
You've even grown the villain beard.
You noticed the goatee of evil. Yes, I love it. I love it.
But going into season 2, so what are you feeling about where kind of the show left off and where it's going?
What are my personal feelings, or what can we expect?
Well, you have to tell us what we can expect, so yeah,
Yeah, no, I like this. This is a straightforward guy. You know what?
Straightforward guy. This guy.
Here's my feelings. I think it was actually a huge shock when we found out that he was Hydra. We really didn't see it coming at all, and it was really, you get attached to these characters, and it was really actually devastating to find that out, and especially after you kissed me.
I know. It was a good kiss.
I know.
It wasn't just a
I did
smack.
find out he was a great kisser, but.
My superpower.
I think season 2 we're going to find out Sky is a little bit darker. She's been betrayed. She was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent for like a second, and she's really going to help Coulson build S.H.I.E.L.D. back up from the ground. And I think we're going to have some run-ins with you.
Possibly. I mean, look, the whole world has changed ever since Winter Soldier. S.H.I.E.L.D. as it were, no longer exists. So, there's a new world and new threats, but still kind of the same. We haven't exactly killed all of Hydra, but that requires new responses as well. And we have a new director. And any other time I can say new, I'm going to do it.
New.
But what's next? That is the big question of the season.
There's also a new leader of Hydra. They announced it at the panel.
Whitehall. Yes.
So do you know whether or not your character is going to be dealing with that as well?
The question of Ward's allegiance to Hydra has always been, I feel like that alliance has always been sort of...
I think it was an alliance to Garrett, and I don't think
it was more
it
of an
was
alliance
to
to
Hydra.
Garrett than it was to Hydra. So he's done some good things, he's done some bad things, and I think that's going to be the stuff of season 2, figuring out who is Grant Ward. It's a good question. I mean, we've been asked some iteration of that, and short of like, I don't know, we're joking like going to an African village and working with kids for
He has
the
to build
next
like
20 years
60
straight.
wells.
Yeah, exactly. It's more fun to play. Absolutely, hands down.
Based on that though, when did you know that you were, when it was revealed to you that you were Hydra?
the episode before I was supposed to play this.
You really weren't playing the character evil until.
No, and I don't even agree with Evil. I don't think he's the villain. I think he's the anti-hero. And so, he's done some questionable things, but I don't think
he was
he's
manipulated by, in my opinion, he was manipulated by Garrett. And I don't think he was a young boy, and he kind of had no other option. I mean, he got taken from juvie and kind of was thrown into this situation, and I don't know how anyone else would have reacted. So, me playing Sky, that's how I see it. I still believe in Skyward. I really do think that he is good deep down below the Nazi murderer thing, but
below
like
the Nazi bunk.
But yeah, just like down there, you're a good guy.
Thank you.
But I do, I think it's going to take. I do think it's going to take.
Hashtag Skyward.
Hashtag Skyward. Thank you. Bye, guys.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Hey, so what are your hopes for season 2 in the sense of what direction we're going in and the evolution of this thing?
Honestly, I had so much fun, especially in the back half of season 1, with the crossover with Captain America and Nick Fury showing up in my hour of need and handing me my beautiful destroyer gun and letting me blow away a bunch of evil super soldiers. I mean, I could have died on the spot right there, and then to be 2 days later in my own room in the bus being made director of S.H.I.E.L.D., I was kind of like, this was just Favreau offering me 3 lines in Iron Man. How did it become this? That said, time has passed. Everyone in the world seems to want to arrest Phil Coulson. S.H.I.E.L.D's on the run. He made me the president of a country that no longer exists. And now we got to rebuild it and make it better and not so riddled with evil traitors. And the only way to do that seems to be to make some new friends, to root out some good old friends, and to do it all using kind of back alley brass knuckles tactics that seem reminiscent of Cold War espionage.
And scratching alien symbols in a
I
wall.
don't know what you're talking about. Apparently that happened. Clark knows. Coulson doesn't know about that. He's patched up his differences with Agent Melinda May, but, he knows now that she was keeping secrets from him because she was tasked to be the plug puller if all the side effects he described to that operation started to manifest in Coulson. She's supposed to put him down, so I hope that graffiti he was doing doesn't mean, it's going to be like the end of The Sopranos where it just all goes dark. Oh, you're very kind to say so. I would love to do that. I'm fascinated by watching it. The directors they've got are so amazing at what they pull off in terms of stunts, visual effects, acting, guest cast in 8 days is just insane, and it only seems to be getting bigger this year. I watch the episodes as they get made, and I think, how could I possibly do this and still do my job? If ever there was an episode where Agent Coulson was kind of like, in carbonite. Thank you. That one I would love to try to do, but I've got my hands pretty full. That said, I'm going to spend any off time I have trying to come up with another interesting indie project to do on my next hiatus.
Hey guys, I gotta move. Sorry.